From sunflowers to cornfields, from mountains to the Great Plains, the Midwest is seen as a deserted place to live, and it is. Howdy, my name is David, and welcome to the Midwest. Let me show you why you should look at it a little bit differently. This barren wasteland is comprised of 12 states, that being Kansas, Nebraska, North and South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, Wisconsin, Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio. I live in Kansas, neighboring one of the worst states in the world, and then Iowa and Missouri. The Midwest should be more than flyover states, with some of America's greatest history and cities stemming from culture-shocking places in the heartland. Although it may be filled with corn, wheat, cheese, and an abundance of lakes, the Big 12 have more to offer. From the bustling cities in Chicago, the never-ending landscape of Kansas, to infinite forests of Wisconsin and mountains with no peak in the Dakotas, the Midwest is full of crazed diversity. Most parts of the Midwest used to be inhabited by natives, creating thousands of unique landmarks and sights to see along the way. And as my own little excerpt, if you want to find anything about Native Americans, you can go almost anywhere in the Midwest, let alone America, and you could find some nice history about them. Most notably, South Dakota. If you want something to do in South Dakota and some Native American history in your life, look no further. If you want something to do in South Dakota, screw 4 giant faces on a rock, go look at Crazy Horse National Monument, notarizing and cementing the memorial of famous Lakota chief Crazy Horse. Like many of the places you and I have talked about, there is more in-depth history behind these places. For a small fun fact about Crazy Horse, there has been absolutely no funding from the federal US government and has been entirely funded by donations. Though some cynicism and nepotism comes into play, with there also being 6-figure salaries going to the families, there are also 80-hour work weeks going into this project. When was the last time you worked an 80-hour work week? And just to reiterate, you only have to dive a little bit to find some rich, flavorful history in the Midwest. You can also find some bitter and sour history. Nonetheless, I'm here to tell you why you should look at it different, not to look at it worse. As most of my internet searches have researched, I find a lot of the same questions and answers on forums. Why is the Midwest seen as the way it is? Majority of the time you can look it up and catch an answer on the web. Conservative, close-minded, even a touch of little diversity. The Midwest may have some harsh history behind it, but there is still much diversity from cultural, racial, educational, religious, and personalities alike vastly contradicting one another. In a good way. Early 1800s Midwest offered a place for Easterners to move in for more farmland, followed by the East Coast swarming with Europeans, the Germans in eastern Missouri, and the Swedes and Norwegians to Minnesota and Wisconsin. And of course, to rebuttal myself, not everything on these places is good. There's still a lot of closed-minded and insensitive folk in the Midwest. But isn't everywhere in America littered with citizens of the sort? I digress because I am not a political person and this video isn't about politics. It's about the locations. The content and quiet lifestyles is based and found in the Midwest, some southern, some northern regions of the US of A. With the content lifestyle, there's simply more grounded and down. Within the content lifestyle, there is simply more grounded and down-to-earth folk around here. And let me ask you, dear viewer, if you found yourself with a slightly harder ability to get the things you needed, would you not be happier with what you already have? Yeah. Contentment is not found a lot in the days you and I live in. These states are some of the last reminder of needing less. Give some of these states another chance. To start it off, keep your heads up and you are always welcome back. Thank you dearly for watching.